Alright everyone, welcome back. I'm your friend Inside. So, the last time I just showed you how to show our user as last. This time I just made a crashing on the community of Gang.js. So here's what I said. I said, hi everyone, here I got a crashing about the safety of Gang database. If I define a VIP user group by using gang.getVIPMember.set with an object, is there any chance that everyone that was able to use Gang.js can change the VIP member node? I mean, they could do that scene by set that object to a new one from char and F12 console or Node.js. I just asked that question to that community because I was very worried about the scene that our application may get hacked by some others on the internet. So I was very worried about that. So I just asked that question. And here's an answer. It said, indeed, that's where you need encryption to protect the data and authentication signature to check if the user has the permission to change this node or not. So that's why in this video, I'm going to read this passage, this article for you. So we have to understand what is cryptography and how it is used by the Gang.js. So when building an application, there is two ways to do the security, the real way or the fake way. Most websites you use today have the fake security. When you log onto the servers, your password gets sent up to the servers. In there, they check to say if it is right and give your permission to access your data. Sure, the servers may be the most secure place you can get, but the problem is that they know your password, which means any bad actor, like a bad employee, a hacker, or the government, can say your data without you knowing it. So what does real security looks like? Rather than your password getting broadcast over the internet, you'll instead get sent a bulletproof watch that you try to open. If your password is correct, the world unlocks. But if you are a hacker, it would take you 1,000 years to crack it. And you would have to do this for every piece of data sent to you. So this makes it very hard for those bad people. To build a secure web application, we need to create a user, sign into the user, save private data, publish content, send private messages, and have group conversations. That is a lot. The most important piece is first creating user accounts. Unfortunately, a user with a password combination is not secure. So we need to do something else. During the Cold War, a new type of security was invented. It is similar to a userland with password type, but imagine instead of having to memorize the first 1,000 digits of pi, having a password that long would take a hacker 100 years to break. This is why it is secure, and it is called the public with private key cryptography. Yeah, cryptography. However, your users would probably get really confused with that. So how can we let them keep their own password but still have a real security system behind them? Well, we take their normal password and mix with other information. The end result is long and complicated, creating a secure account for users to sign into. I have a secret recipe for delicious pie. How hard for you to make a thin pie, like I did? I could give you a hint, one of the ingredients. It might be easy for you to guess what others may be, but you would still have to bake a pie for each guess, so that's a lot of work. And that is exactly why mixing our password with some salt keeps our account secure. This recipe is called password-based key derivation function number 2, or PBKDF2 for short. If you know the password, it is easy to bake the same pie again and again, but if you don't, it's very hard. The idea is called proof of work and is important for creating and signing into a user account. We have one next step. With public-private key cryptography, the proof of work and the private key are different, even though they are both long and complicated. Instead, we use proof of work to encrypt and decrypt the private key. Let's summarize. So far, we created a user account with public-private key cryptography. This way, it is secure, unlike the password. We then use the PBKDF2 to extend the user's password into a proof of work. That way, if a hacker tries to guess the password, they have to do hours of extra work for every guess. Now we use a proof of work to decrypt the private key. This private key is used to lock and unlock our private data. In the same way, you lock your house or car to stop other people from getting into your stuff. But how does a lock work? Well, take a minute to stare at this animation and replay it again and again while listening to my epic voice. Okay, we cannot do that because I have watched this video, but I still don't understand what's going on in there, so we may just skip that video for save. Encryption is the same thing. It rotates each letter by a different distance, thus scrambling the message. You can only unscramble the message if you have a key that perfectly restores every letter in the message. This is called Advanced Encryption Standard, or AES for short. But wait, if we use the private key to keep our things safe, how do we then protect the private key itself? That is where the proof of work comes in. And the messenger, and answers why we encrypt the private key with the proof of work, keeping our accounts secure and our users happy. It is easy to confuse encryption keys and public private keys. One is take a doorknob. You need a key to both lock and unlock it, while public and private keys are like a padlock. The public key can close the lock, but only the private key can open it. This becomes useful when we want to have a private conversation. Alice and Bob exchange padlocks. Now Alice can write a message that only Bob can open. When Bob replies to Alice, he uses her padlock, so only she can open his message. Simple enough, but what if we want to have a group conversation? Alice creates 4 copies of an encryption key, which will let everybody in the group both lock and unlock. She now can invite Bob, Carol, and Devin to the group by sending them the key by using their individual padlocks. Once everybody has the same shared key, they can now write and lock a message to the group that only the group can see, allowing everybody else to pass the messages around. Signature. We have used the public-private key cryptography for everything from creating or user accounts to having private conversations. But there's one final use case that we haven't explored yet. Imagine that the police are doing an investigation. They can look for fingerprints in a room to prove that somebody was in there before. This is how digital signatures work. A user can leave their fingerprints on a blog post or message, which then allows others to verify who sent it. This is useful because the internet is full of fake users who may try to steal your information, but once you trust somebody, you can then use their digital signature to prove they are the other and ignore those troublemakers, those hackers. Let's take what we have learned and put it into the technique terms. To create a new user account, we first generate a public private key pair. We then add the ability to unlock to the account by hashing the password and assert with ppkdf2. This produces a proof of work that is used to encrypt and decrypt the private key with AES. Once we have the private key, we can then read and write our own personal data using the private key as an AES encryption key. We can also have private conversations with others by sending them our public key padlock. Finally, we can prove to others we said something by adding a digital signature to our published contents, which the public key can then verify. This covers some of the most advanced security possible, and that is why GAN pushes the standard of true security. Okay, from this passage at least we know the GAN.js did all those security job for us, so we don't have to worry about the security problem by our own. We can use their APIs. We can use their users' system to do something. Okay, that also means that we cannot just simply use the root stuff, for example, GAN.get and set and all those shit stuff. We cannot use that. But instead, we should use some function under the user system. Is that right? We'll see about it in the next video.